going to go live again. We're going to talk a little bit about deprivation of rights under color of law. I'm going to sit here for a minute and wait, see if I get a few people on that could share this. So, I'm here tonight, getting ready to go to bed early. Got a long trip tomorrow. I want to talk about deprivation of rights under color of law and how children have been being trafficked through administrative proceedings. These are crimes against humanity. These are blatant violations of our civil liberties. Everybody share this, get this out there, and I'm gonna lay it all out there again like I did in my last live video. This is unscripted. This is what I've figured out to the best of my knowledge. I am not an attorney. I'm not a lawyer. I don't practice law. I don't give legal advice. I just share information because I'm manic. I'm manic, and when I learn something, I've got to share it. And when I'm learning something, I have to keep learning on it. Morris, how you doing? I'm here to share something, and it's about the administrative process. It's about, let's start here. The Supreme Court has ruled, and there is case law precedence. The Supreme Court has ruled that statute, code, ordinance, policy, procedure, penal code, anything that violates the Constitution of the United States of America, our Bill of Rights, anything that undermines those laws are no longer law, null and void. So if somebody is taking you to court because they came to your house, CPS shows up at your door because somebody doesn't like you. Happens all the time. It happened a lot to us. First-hand knowledge. CPS shows up at your door. They want to see your child because somebody said something. They don't have any rights to anything, let me say that right now. Unless they've got a valid court order, which administrative courts don't produce valid court orders from the best that I understand it. Separation between an administrative process and a judicial process. I'll get more into that. They cannot issue a court order at the best of my understanding because they're working in a judicial proceeding through CPS. CPS has put some paperwork into the courts and said, I need a hearing, or I need a court order. This person says this, and I don't know whether or not they get a signed, notarized affidavit under penalty and perjury of law that the above statement in that said affidavit is in fact true and correct. The person signing the affidavit puts their signature on there stating that they are stating the truth when they are giving these allegations. In Nevada, you cannot see the affidavit. It is sealed by the court so that the person is protected. That's very convenient for their system. So they come to your house, they want to see your kids. I just tell them, everything's fine. I want to know what the allegations are, obviously. So I ask them what the allegations are. I do not let them into my house. They do not come into my house without that court order. And I've let them in my house once in the past, once, on what they thought was a court order, or what they pretended to be a court order. It was a single piece of paper with a judge's signature on it. I asked the deputy, "Who's the judge that signed this?" And he gave me the name. They falsely represented that judge, truly an administrator, because he was only acting in an administrative capacity. An administrator signed that order. That order was signed by an administrator. Separation of powers states that you cannot administrate, and you can't be an administrator of a hearing under policy and procedure, and then in the same hearing issue an order, which is judicial. Orders are judicial, and they cannot wear two hats. It's separation of powers. You can look that up. I've got it written down in docs somewhere. I'm not reading any of this. So the judge violated his oath of office, his oath that he took supposedly to the United States Constitution, to stand up and uphold the Declaration or Bill of Rights. I believe it's the Bill of Rights in the United States Constitution. Hi, Holly. So he took that oath of office. And not to get too far off subject, but there's a difference between with the United States and without the United States when they are signing their oath of office. They are tricking us, and I have not nailed that down yet, but look into anytime you pull an oath of office for a judge, which is public record, that oath of office better be on 2 books on the county recorder's highest court of record. Okay? 2 books for it to be true and in fact. So anyway, when they come to my house, I don't let them in. I bring my child to the door after I found out what the allegations are. I don't answer their questions. I show them that the child is secure, safe, loved. And then I send the child away. Have the other parent carry the child away if they're a youngster. Go away. And I stay at the door and I let them know that this concludes our visit. And that I appreciate, and I always tell them, I appreciate their position when it comes to kids who are truly abused, kids who are truly violated by their parents. That's what CPS is for. But there's not enough of that. They're greedy. They want more and more. And they get money when they adopt kids from foster families into adoptive families. That's where CPS gains their money. Okay? The Executive Department of the United States of America has an agreement with the Executive Department of each state so that when they have these administrative proceedings, they can make money. The judge makes money, CPS worker makes money, everybody makes money during these proceedings, including any special witnesses that CPS has. You know, they have professional special witnesses that they call into these administrative proceedings to set the record in their favor. They do all kinds of trickery and magic, okay? You go to these proceedings and you're sitting in front of this guy wearing a robe who was introduced as the Honorable so-and-so, please rise, all that, right? He is not acting in the capacity of a judge, but they introduced him as such. This is ridiculous because he's not a judge. He can't be a judge in the administrative hearing that they are violating our rights by pulling us into those. It's clear trafficking of children through an administrative process that is not law. And they have taken thousands and thousands of children. They have lost children. It's ridiculous. It really angers me, and I've been looking for remedy for this for years. I've been coming into the understanding of this for the last couple of years. Divine guidance has been bringing information into my awareness. God is gifting me because I have allowed him into my heart. I have opened up to know the truth, understand the truth. I seek the truth. And 2 years ago, it slapped me in the face. Ever since then, it's been more and more information. Yeah, I definitely watch Keith Holly. He's a good man, very smart, very gifted with his words and understanding of the vocabulary aspect of it. Oh boy, if I could grasp that, oh boy. Yes, absolutely destroying us for profit. Okay, they get their see the attorneys that go into these proceedings to represent you, and when you go to a family court, they give you a free attorney. When I had a custody case, I filed my own paperwork. An attorney just walked up and said, "I'll represent you." And there was one for the kids, and there was one for the other side, my ex. So there was 3 attorneys involved. Everybody getting paid. Everybody profiting, except for the kids and the parents. And they try to say that you're in contract with them once, you get tricked into signing anything when they come to your house. Do not sign anything. Okay? It's a trick. Once you sign, we're just going to do this safety plan for your family so that we can help you guys to whatever. Okay, I don't need help. I didn't call them for help. Somebody accused me of something. They came. They didn't find the accusations, and now they want a safety plan. Do not sign. Do not contract. A contract is a unilateral contract between 2 people, 2 parties that will benefit. If both parties don't benefit from the contract is fraudulent. Okay? So they say that they've contracted with you, but they're profiting. They're benefiting. So there's no contract. So even if you've accidentally contracted, there's a way out. Okay? So what do I want to say next? My mind just went blank. So you got the administrative proceedings and let's talk about the bar. The bar is nothing but a private membership club, association of people who learned of law and are exclusive as far as they are concerned. I don't think so. Everybody is equal. The bar is actually BAR, British Accredited Registry. Okay, it is ran by the Brits, the Queen Prophets. It's all British law. We had a war. It was before the Civil War, maybe the War 1812. I can't pull it up right now. But the Brits were involved. The British were involved. The war never concluded. We signed a treaty with them, or something happened. I don't know how to tell you about it, but we gave them authority over our corporation. That's in the 1930s when the corporations were born in the states. Okay? And our original constitutions were written in the 1800s, the late 1800s, some of them in the 1900s, but like California, it was like close to the 30s. But the constitutions were written originally by the delegates chosen to scribe the state constitution according to the federal constitution. No law can undermine the United States Constitution or it's null and void. So they were trying to create statehood by making the constitutions. I'm looking through these constitutions and the Bill of Rights for a project that I'm working on. And I notice there's differences in the wordings of certain things, inalienable rights. You know, one state will say one thing and another will say the same thing in a different word. Some states will leave out inalienable rights. I think you can look up Arizona. I think it is. I think they left that out. But my point is that my son came in and told me about the corn dogs. It threw me off. I'm a little hungry. The bar is a private membership club. California is not even honoring what they used to call a license to practice law, a certificate from the state. California stopped doing it. They do not certify their lawyers anymore. They're attorneys at law or in law. There's a difference. One is the corporate attorney, all for the bar. The other is a civil rights attorney. So the bar is again nothing but a private member club, and they control all this with their association to the courts. When you get a lawyer, you think, oh, I've got a lawyer, he's going to help me out. Well, a lawyer and attorney's first authority is to the court. It's their bar policy. I've seen it written. I can't pull it up for you, but I've seen it, heard it, been there, done that. It's their policy. First authority is to the court and the proceedings of the court. And what they do is they run in admiralty. Admiralty is not common law. Let's see if I can remember this. You have law, common law, equity, admiralty, and maritime. I think those are the four jurisdictions of law. I might be wrong. Correct me in the comments. They try to take it to admiralty law, and admiralty law is a direct violation of your liberties and rights. So it's up to the people to know this. But that's beside the point here. We're talking about going to an administrative proceeding and them having the policy that they go by in those hearings that CPS set up. Okay? The Social Security Act, 1847, I believe it is. Section 1101B. It states in that act that Social Security goes by, or supposed to go by, that they do not have any right to take your children without your consent. I have that documentation. I have that entire act, and I can show you exactly where within the act that sits. Hi, Ramona. Welcome. See who's in here. Brandy Lynn, thank you for joining. Holly's in here. Vaughn, what's happening, Vaughn? Ms. Gorgeous, how we doing?
No.
Patricia, thank you for joining. Holly. Langston, Matt. Mr. Morris Lewis. And Mr. Tibbles. Thank you all for joining. I see there's only 3 of you that remained, but I'm trying not to repeat myself, but at the same time make it very clear that they are doing things that violate our liberties and rights. Now, here's the problem, and this is why I come on this video, because I see both sides of everything, or I try to. So, if the Supreme Court has stated that statutes, codes, all that, none of that is law, then we have a problem, or the only problem I have is some of the ordinances and statutes are helpful in ways that keep our community clean or safe or running productively. There's a lot of those. I agree. Even some maybe some building codes, maybe for commercial use, commercial buildings and things, they need to exist. But in our private capacity, if I want to build a shed that's bigger than 10 by 10, which is the only size allowed to build without a permit under ordinance, which is not law, I have to go down and get a permit to build anything bigger. That's ridiculous on my private property. It's understood that if you do a land patent at the BLM office, you will get your true title to your land. Now, that doesn't mean much, because when they make you pay your land tax, the tax is on everything that's above the land. All the structures, all the improvements on the land. You're not paying a land tax. I don't think that any of that should be necessary for the private person. Now, if I was to be having people over and I wanted to build a structure, and that structure was going to be a building that I wanted to have church in, we got a catch-22 going on there, Can I build it structurally sound without the building department telling me whether or not it's up to code? Can I be trusted to hire somebody to do it without paying their exorbitant fees and permit and things, So those are non-positive law. Anything that undermines the Constitution is non-positive law. But maybe we need some of it. But the problem here is they're trafficking our children through the administrative process, non-positive law, which is going to bring forth this fact that all this non-positive law exists. And then you can have people trying to build things and getting in trouble because they don't know how to stand properly because they heard Doug say it. You need to know how to stand properly and understand what I'm saying and assert your authority. Put it to public record. That's the highest court of record. Put it to public record And once it's on public record 30 days, it stands as fact and law on the highest court of record, unless contested in the court of law. So anything in your standing, if you want to put a status document on record like I have, I've had status documents, 2 of them on record since 2 years ago. I actually filed my first one September 11th. I didn't mean it, but I started becoming independent on that day when I filed that document, because that document asserts my status and standing in my private capacity. Unless I know how to understand exactly what that is in status and standing, that document doesn't mean anything. So you can file affidavits, you can put copyrights on record, you can authenticate your birth certificate and file for your birth bond through that whole process. But if you don't understand what's in every single document that you put to record, you're not doing yourself a benefit. You're just chasing the credits of the bond. You're chasing, what is it referred to as? You're chasing the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. I couldn't think of what I was trying to say. Okay? Can't be about the money. It's got to be about your soul, your flesh, which your soul does all the thinking for. They are trying to control your soul through the straw man, the all capital letters name. It's on your driver's license. It's on most of your bills that come in the mail. Those are bonds created at your birth. I'm not going to keep rambling on. This is all facts that I have come to the understanding of to the best of my knowledge. I believe them to be true. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an attorney. I don't practice law. I just share information that I come into. And this is huge information. And I wanted to share it in one video, but I don't want to make it too long. So I've got 2 live videos. Watch the first one today, and then watch this one. If you've got any questions, reach out and message me. Send me a friend's request. I prefer you message me before you send me a friend's request, because I kind of screen all my friends' requests for intentions. I'm looking to see what side you're on, good or bad, you know. I'm looking to promote positivity and unity. I'm looking to promote, oneness, becoming one with yourself, and understanding these things is key. And then coming together with others in unity to share that understanding. Okay? I've opened the Trinity of Life Church. Our motto is oneness, unity, and balance. Seek your oneness. Once you have it, share and tread lightly and give others the understanding that seek that same understanding. Period. Don't stand on this corner. Don't yell it out. Don't do that. Tread lightly. People hear better. Or at least that's my understanding. Now relax here. I get worked up when the Klingon comes out in the forehead. I can really get it going, but love to all, many blessings to everybody, and please share this video to those who seek remedy. All right, have a good night.